Well, good day, viewers and listeners. Welcome to another episode of Palo Talk. And in this episode of Palo Talk, we'll be talking about the recent developments surrounding the arrest of social media celebrity Mompha, popularly known as Mompha. And I call the title of this episode Another Tale of Audio Money. Mompha, whose birth name is Ismail Mustapha, was arrested last Friday at on his way to Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport by the officials of Economic and Financial Crime Commission. And in the report or the statement put out by EFCC, they claim that the arrest is following a coordinated intelligence between obviously the EFCC and the police and other international agencies. And he was arrested on his way to the airport, and since his arrest, I think there's been a lot of reaction and celebration, if you like, sympathy in the social media space, and it's rendered the social discussion in Nigeria or or anyone that has dealings with Nigeria. Where do I start on this one? For people that don't know, well, who the hell is Mompha? So I hear some people say, yeah, if you follow Nigerian socialites on social media, Instagram to be precise, then there's a very good chance you would have encountered the likes of Osh Popure and Mompha. The thing these two have in common is that they live in the United Arab Emirates. They display flamboyant and, for the want of right word, extravagant and luxurious lifestyle on the social media, which actually catches the fancy of a lot of Nigerian youth, and it shows the other side of the world. It's like a getaway for Nigerians. So Nigerian youth who are struggling, that okay, there's another world out there where you could actually live the dream of luxury at its best. So, just to put in perspective, Mompha is known or is popularly regarded as a bureau de change operator or director. He has a bureau de change in Dubai that he runs, and that is supposed to be the source of his wealth. With the display of his wealth and the kind of declaration he makes and people around him make, you could put him in the realm of probably close to a billionaire. I stand to be corrected for people that follow his story or know his trends, then they can put a comment below and educate us more. But the few things I've noticed or I've observed from Mompha is the fact that, apart from the luxurious let's even go into that luxurious lifestyle a little bit. I'll put his Instagram handle on the screen so you can have a look yourself if it's still up. And as a social media celebrity, you can call him an influencer now, because you will see before now a lot of celebrities, Nigerian celebrities, actors, actresses, musicians, other influencers referencing Mompha in their arts and crafts and paying sort of homage to him when they in Dubai, because he's renowned for his hospitality to these people, as someone who has a fancy for the limelight, especially in the ever developing social media as an outlet. And you hear them paying tribute to him more often than not. Is renowned for exotic watches. And when I look at some of the displays, there was an occasion or a situation where a obviously claimed he acquired watches of about 180 million naira. He's got, or he claims to have, a Bentley. He's got a McLaren 650S Spider, which goes for, I think, about, is it 103 million? Yeah. He's an Emirates first class private suite. He flies Emirates first class private suite and is Emirates Platinum member. He claims to be. I'm trying not to say as if I can verify any of this. I'm not verifying any of this, but I'm saying this based on the gospel of how he's representing himself, or how he's represented himself in the social media space, and based on how people reference him in the same light. So, as a first class private suite traveler on Emirates, let's put that in perspective. According to the Business Insider, when this package was launched by Emirates, the cheapest flight was around £7,000. This is like 3.1 million, 3 million or 3.1 million, give or take, for the cheapest flight. So, and Mompha flies this package often. It displays pictures of himself in the first class private suites, which kind of is the same as advertised by Emirates, if you like. And the display of his frivolous display of wealth, it's not just limited to himself. You could see some of his pictures. He's got a stack of money next to him, his kids as well. Yeah, they all display his affection or love for Rolexes and the likes. So, in that light, he's fond of luxurious display of wealth, and it's all right to display of wealth. I have never had anything against it, and the reason why I've never really talked much about people who display their wealth on social media, or who has a knack for maybe over the top show of luxury or luxurious lifestyle on social media, is because it shouldn't really bother anyone, should it? Because if they're working hard for their money, they're getting their money through legitimate means, then it shouldn't bother me, it shouldn't bother you. Everyone should just get on with their life. If you can celebrate them, if you're sure of the legitimacy of the source of their wealth, if you can celebrate them, celebrate them. If you can't, then let everyone do themselves. What social media is for content. It's a white canvas or a blank canvas, and everyone just put content in it. So, and part of it is some people showing the luxurious lifestyle they live. So I've never really had anything against people showing their wealth and people not showing it. The issue is the acceptance of certain conduct and the justification of certain conduct. So, after the arrest, obviously, let's talk about the arrest a bit. EFCC, in the statement they issued, he claimed he was arrested with 5 wristwatches worth about 20 million naira, and that he has already made admissions to 2 different fraud cases, and is cooperating and providing material evidence to the EFCC in investigation, and that he will be charged to courts in due course. Now, first of all, I do not see the relevance, because we have to when we claim that we're trying to stem roots corruption and unpopular behavior or social vices out of our society, or criminal behavior acts out of a society, we need to be careful to do things the right way. And if we're able to show the video of, I think, the few time frames, video frames before his arrest, it just shows that while someone that has a law background, presumption of innocence instantly after his arrest was out of the window. I'm not saying he's innocent, and I'm still gonna get to the lessons or some of my comment or thoughts on the whole episode about the lifestyle and the development to this stage. So yeah, talking about the arrest, the presumption of innocence is straight out the window, because this whole idea of convicting people in a court of public opinion by the EFCC or other law enforcement agencies in Nigeria leaves a lot to be desired, we must say. Yes, there might be strong case with many of these people, but the proper procedure of the law should still be respected and followed. The idea of just saying he was arrested with watches worth 20 million naira is just to turn people against him, even before he's had his day in court. Even if he's admitted to anything, until he's pled guilty, he has pled guilty in front of a judge, you cannot, he's still presumed innocent. The watches he was arrested with, interpretations could be different. Maybe if I have more facts, maybe I'll reason differently. The information you're offering to the public has no other purpose, serves no other purpose than to malign instantly an accused person before they've had their day in court. So I find that a little less desirable, because the time when we need accountability from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the government aren't really before securing conviction, and we actually need them after. We need to know, okay, the recovery, this is what we're using the monies recovered for, not using us to secure conviction by saying, oh yeah, we found watches worth 20 million naira from it. Yeah, when you collected the watches or after his conviction, what happens to the watches? Do you auction them for 2 million naira, or do you give them to charity, or do you sell them and put the money in the TSA? And when you put the money back into the government coffers, because it's obviously not part of the appropriated budget, what do? Do you do supplementary budget, or do we spend them on other things that were not budgeted for? We don't know. Yeah, there might be procedures, but the transparency of the procedures of managing the proceeds of these forfeitures and convictions, and as clear as they are always clear and loud before securing the conviction. Yeah, we've heard about the Animadueke situation, where we heard a lot about all the expensive jewelries that I think worth about 3 billion naira that were retrieved or taken from the woman's premises in one of their raids. Yeah, we hear them before conviction or anything. Then nothing happens. We don't hear what happens after that. As far as I'm concerned, there's massive fortune that's been amassed by EFCC on behalf of the federal government since the start of this dispensation. But I think the government could do a bit more by making it clear to us and a transparent channel to actually explain the use of this conviction after rather than before. So well, that's my take on that. And credit to EFCC. I also have to, the other point is I have to give credit to EFCC, because we're seeing a change in attitude from the approach the EFCC used to work before. The focus these days is not just on, oh well, politician using EFCC as an attack dog against other politicians. I think, and just ordinarily chasing around small fishes, in the sense of all this, we're small Yahoo boys here and there, the ones that are just indulging or social vices to just pass time, and they're going for the real people that are potentially putting the name of the country to disrepute. And yeah, we've seen the coordinated arrests and investigation in the case of Obinwane and others, and the 41 FBI most wanted lists and all that. So yeah, I give them credit in the sense that, well, they responded to coordination from the outside, and they doing what they can to actually make sure that these people are brought to justice where they can be, or they have their day in court. Yeah, I know that's kind of a step down. Maybe this should have been a point before saying what I said earlier, but yeah, you still have to give credit where credit is due. But it will still be ideal and better to do things. It doesn't cost anything to do things the right way. So that's that about that. Yeah, so my take on this whole thing is, it goes back to some of the things we talked about when we talked about the Obinwane case in one of our first episodes this season, and because you see the link in the description below if you want to have a look at that episode again. And I'm quite baffled if the information and news making the rounds are anything to go by. I'm baffled at the audacity and the effrontery that with which these people, someone like Mompha, carry himself, if he's actually perpetrating these dastard activities and using himself as a front for money laundering and other criminal proceeds, which is kind of the same effrontery with the case of Obinwane's case. I don't get where people are getting. I think maybe they're using the effrontery and the audacity as a front to make people actually doubt that can you actually be committing a crime or not be doing anything legitimate if you're this bold. Yeah, if you see some of the pictures with Pop, there is a massive, and I mean a big and announcing show of wealth and affluence by this guy himself, his family, and his kids. And I think for the sake of the kids, I hope people just give the kids the benefit of the doubt and protect their privacy, because it's not their fault that the parents are doing what they're doing, or allegedly doing what they doing. So this like display of wealth, it doesn't really make sense for someone who is obviously committing money laundering. It's shining unnecessary torch on yourself, because there's really nowhere to hide. And it just shows, should this be true, it shows how shallow, basic these people are. And it makes you ask yourself a question. If you're one of their groupies or sycophants or hallelujah boys, that are these people even half as smart as you are? The fact that someone is probably lucky to scheme through unscrupulous means doesn't mean they are they are smart as you as a person. So, and also, people as a culture, we need to start asking questions. yeah, we're all quick to ask our government officials. Yeah, it's a good thing. I talk about the politicians a lot. We're all quick to judge them and ask questions when we see them mismanage or corruptly enrich themselves out of the public funds. That, oh yeah, oh, he didn't have money before, he did it, yeah, they're just spending our money, they're not actually helping the people. Even some of these celebrities that have shown that have shared the same space with Mompha. I've said this too. I'm not gonna name names of some of these celebrities. I'm not in the business of calling people out. But some of these celebrities, you know them. They on their page every day, castigating the governments for not supporting people, and on the other side, they're still celebrating this mid. I don't want to say I don't want to say mediocrity. They still on the other side celebrating this superficial lifestyle without actually asking question or doing reasonable and due diligence where necessary. Like, for example, I do not think it's wrong to ask or to thoroughly find out of who you are in bed with or who you are relating with. If they show display of wealth the way Mompha shows his display of wealth, before you, as a person, before you identified with them, yeah, because let's sit back for a sec. To run a bureau de change, how profitable can a bureau de change be? I don't know. I've never been in the business. That you can purchase watches of 180 million wrist watches, and I'm not making this up. He said it himself. Part of the reason why I call the title of this episode "Audio Money" because like P Square, one of the P Square brothers said, all these are audio money. We just make noise so people can know. Might not necessarily be there. So, but if you stack this up, for his birthday, he bought himself a McLaren Spider of about 103 million naira. And you still ask yourself, is bureau de change more than exchange rate risk and commission? So, if you've got people who obviously show this level of affluence, I think it's only fair for your own peace of mind and assurance too, and for posterity to judge you right, to actually do a soft search. I'm not saying you prejudicial to people because everyone too is presumed innocent. We've talked about it, but we should still be proactive in not actually writing off people's writing off the whole idea of bujumbe. Yoruba people will understand what I'm saying. We say you see something, you throw away face, you just you pretend as if it never happened, and so it's fair. And that's one of the things you see in the Western world. Yeah, people will ask you questions. Okay, well, you have this. Excuse me, what do you do? It's only fair if you've made your money through the legitimate means, or you can justify the source of your wealth. Yeah, it's fine. We'll celebrate you. We're Africans. What we'd like to do is show off our material wealth and party. So yeah, you will be celebrated. But I think this whole culture of don't ask, don't tell, or don't ask if it's not necessary, and now turning around when that person obviously meets their Waterloo, it leaves a lot. It shows hypocrisy on the part of our people as well. Everyone has been talking ill of the guy in the last few days, and I know that many people in the social media space, since whenever, always celebrated this guy. They've always liked him. Apparently, he's a very hospitable person for people when they go to Dubai, and he's a cheerful giver. So, well, people don't ask questions. It's also spark twisted aspiration in the Nigerian youth. So the kind of lifestyle. Yeah, that's why you get. We still have this issue of Naira Marley going on, and that's why you get people just up in arms and very angry when things like this come up. That, oh yeah, you only against them because they're making money. But how is that impressive? Not all of us. This is not even writing people off. Not all of us are going to be wealthy enough. Not all Nigerian youths are going to be wealthy enough to buy 180 million naira watches. Not all Nigerian youths are going to be rich enough to buy McLaren. So we need to come to terms with the reality that the path chosen by everyone is definitely going to be different, and the kind of work you do or the kind of things you do should support the you should be able to support the kind of spendings and acquisitions you make. So now many Nigerian youths have seen this as a distraction, and a welcome distraction from their suffering, unemployment, lack of bad economy, and the poverty in the society, and they've just seen this as a welcome distraction. Now, okay, well, if you can't beat them, try them. So, yeah, excuse me. There's nothing wrong with actually being like someone like Mompha without necessarily knowing what Mompha does. So, it's also shown the what I call normalizing the abnormality in our society. Everyone is okay with someone just frivolously displaying wealth that they cannot explain. That's bound to be worrying. This is not the problem of our people. Even as a society, we do not know how to deal with things like this, because I don't see a tax regime robust enough to make people, because as a country, and with my humble financial experience, the sheer display of wealth in Nigeria, I don't get why the wealthy in our society are not paying material tax. Yeah, material tax, to put in loose form, will cover things like the number of private jets we have in Nigeria. You want that for people to buy private jets, the tax you'll be paying on things like that should be more than just VAT. So people that acquire assets, luxurious asset like that, should be able to pay more tax to the government too, because it shows they can afford more, because you could fly commercial. So it's the same way where in some countries you have to pay congestion charges just because you drive. So yeah, that's just an example of material taxes that people should be paying. So if the government does not have a plan to actually make to tax the wealthy in our society, then it shows that as a people we've not actually seen that as anything that's important to the redistribution of wealth. You can fight corruption, but how to develop the society is to make sure that the wealth of the society is reasonably and evenly distributed. It's not going to be a pound for everyone, but it should be distributed in a way where even the least or the poorest in our society could, based on the wealth, the overall wealth of the country, even the poorest in our society would have a reasonable means of livelihood. The UN reports are still there that a lot of Nigerians still live under $1 a day, and we've got this display of wealth. You can't just confiscate people's asset because they've acquired it through legal or illegal means without the pronouncement of the court. But the wealthy are known, so they should still pay their fair share. It's not the only one. We even have politicians that display wealth the way Mompha display wealth too. So it is the same thing, though in different cups, same content basically. So that normalizing the abnormality, it's abnormal for some people, selected few in the society, to just hold the wealth without actually paying back into the state coffers for wealth redistribution. Nothing's wrong with the display of wealth. I've said that before. If the source of your money is legitimate or is acceptable by the laws of the society. You're talking about Americans. One celebrity that shows, that displays his luxurious lifestyle as often as possible is Floyd Mayweather. Everyone knows him, but people knows his source of wealth, at least. Yeah, most of his sources of wealth. It's a boxer. He gambles. He makes money. He runs the Mayweather promotion. Displays his wealth. Everyone is fine. So, if you can prove the source of your wealth, or the source of your wealth marries with what you're doing, then there's no problem. Nigerians will celebrate you, and we will celebrate you too. What I've found out is that there's no sophistication with these people. They're just very basic people. There's no grand scheme or anything. They just do basic crime, which shows the level of their intellect to what they do. And this is what people should actually consider when you picking your next role model. Like with everyone picks their role model on social media these days, so that's what people should consider. So it's another one on another celebrity that's probably biting the dust. If he's innocent, we'll follow the story. Wish him all the best in his legal trial, but it's not really looking good from this point of view. So that's all I've got. See you in the next one.